Hey there folks, working on my 2000 Lincoln Town Car. I don't know, it's got a 4.6 V8, doing a Pitman arm replacement on it. Pretty straightforward Pitman arm replacement. There's not as much room as I'd like there to be, but there's enough room to do the job. Probably going to want a Pitman arm puller and a tie rod end puller to put on that tie rod end bolt to pop it out. I know you can whack, the tie rod ends with a hammer and it can pop out. Since this is right on the steering gear, I wouldn't recommend it. The steering gear on this is pretty heavy duty cast. If you didn't have one, you could probably get away with it. You could probably also use a fork to pop that big part of the Pitman arm off of the steering gear as well. You'd have to remove the tire here. Reason behind that is trying to get you guys down in here. If you see under here, right there's the Pitman arm, and you'd have to go through this sway bar. And the only way to do that, because of the angle, you'd have to take that tire off. Maybe be able to turn the tire all the way. I'm not even going to try to mess around with it. It's not worth my time. I got a Pitman arm puller here, so I'm just going to use the right tool, you know what I mean. And I got tie rod end, what do you call it? Press on there, and I have the Pitman arm puller press right down here on the ground. Right there. We're gonna get going on this. These bolts are already loose, so I just gotta, loosen these up. Tools I used, I had a socket set, but I used this big bastard right here. This is a 450 millimeter. I paid like 10 bucks for this. It's probably the best tool I've ever bought, just because you can put it on any bolt if you got the room for it. Let's get this popping. Hopefully this comes off. Yeah, lefty loosey, righty tighty. I always remember that one. Getting nervous in front of the camera. So there we go, that popped. That was pretty easy. Hopefully this Pitman arm, I'm going to loosen this Pitman arm up a little more. This nut. Just so that I know that I'll get it off, Now I got about, I don't know if you can see that there, over an 1/8 inch of gap in that. So one of the reasons I don't really like this, you gotta squiggle this up here. This is a larger Pitman arm puller, so, which is nice. You can do things like that with it. These things are pretty cheap, the Pitman arm pullers are. I think there was, this is a few years old, but they're less than $15. If you get the one Pitman arm puller, you can do the tie rods too if you don't like banging on things. These Pitmans can be a pain in the butt to get off. I got my little pipe here as an extension. You can strip these out pretty easy, so once I get some pressure on it, I always just bang them. Might have just went, I'm not sure. If you bang on them too hard, yeah, I think I popped it. Yeah, she went. I did leave the bolts on here. just in case something were to happen, you don't mar up those threads or bang those threads up on there. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth the hassle. And literally, as you can see here, what is that, 20 seconds or 30 seconds to get this off here. I could be doing this with my fingers if I sprayed it with WD-40, but I don't really like to mess with that stuff all the time, especially on something so simple. So we'll put this back on here, get this popped off. I've had, this is my fourth car like this, and I think I've done a Pitman arm on every one. So this has got 185,000. This one's been replaced too, which is sad. They probably replaced it with cheap, and I'm replacing it with cheap. There we go. Look at that. Off of there. Important to note, these do have a groove in them, or a couple grooves. There's 4 in here, and also on the steering gear there, match up there. Because this is junk, and it's too bad it's junk, but the rest of the front end on this is tight. So, this is funny. So I go to the shop, not the shop, fucking AutoZone. Pitman arm, they got in stock. No grease zerk. Or pin came with, cotter pin came with this. And I was talking to the guys like, that's kind of weird, and he's like, yeah, blah blah blah. I do quite a bit of mechanic work, and I need, you know, a cotter pin set, which I bought. It was like $6, but it was probably worth it because a lot of stuff around here gets nails put in it. You know, hey, we've all been there. So didn't come with a grease zerk. It's open, it's threaded, and it didn't come with a cotter key. Always check your parts before you leave the auto parts store. I did. I had to get a couple extra pieces for it. Not that big of a deal. But they don't have good quantities of things. I mean, I got 10 grease zerks here. Need to use it for one. Yeah. Can I use these on other things around here? Oh, definitely. But we'll put the cotter key on here. Excuse my shop. It's a little messy, but... So, got this here. Hey, it never hurt to have a beer. Right here. Make sure you don't cross thread these. This one, nice, goes right in. Let me get a wrench for this. Well, this is kind of a goofy size. It's 7mm. I don't know if these threads are standard or metric. I'm just gonna tighten it a little bit. These are easy to strip out. It's on there, but I gotta harder to open up the stuff here than change out this Pitman arm. Oh, that chainsaw there. That's an Echo CS680. I like it a lot. I need bumper spikes for it. Good saw. Apparently it's the most bang for your buck out of the commercial saws that they have for sale. That's an older one though. I think it was made in the early 2000s or something, but so I just what I was doing there is I packed this with grease. I do not ever trust anything that comes pre-packed. It gets the grease treatment. That wasn't good for anything, but we can deal with it. Everything I deal with gets the grease treatment. Don't freaking trust it. Ain't worth the hassle. Now when you do the grease treatment, you can take some grease and put it on there. Cool. Okay. That's science right there. I get some on that fucker too. If I ever need to replace this cheap one, I'll put some on that. Because your mama told you so. And try not to cross thread the shit. These are not being friendly. Can't bar that up. Well, that's the way it goes in. Get that wrench screw on, suck. Here we go. Oh, that ain't the right side. I just had that and I lost her. I didn't lose it, but it's in the clouds somewhere, I'm sure. Well, I lost in Narnia. And then when you use this, you can always say, what wrench should you use? And you can say the big one. Makes you feel like a man. Now you get a workout using this thing. It weighs about 5 pounds. Probably weighs more. Look at that. We did this basically without beating on anything too much, which is really nice. No, the right tools do go a long ways. Yeah, should be using a socket for this, but I don't got one. But hey, there'll be another time when I have the right size socket for this, or well, I do. I just was too lazy to find it. And I like using this big thing. Well, I promise I'm not compensating for anything. Ah. Okay. Say that's tight. Yeah, don't ask me what torque specs are. Never heard of her. Except on head bolts and engine parts. Internals. And this is what I hate about all this stuff. See those threads there? That hole to put the cotter pin is in there. It doesn't even fit. Don't ask me why. I don't know how the fuck does the cotter pin go. Could reuse the old one if I wanted to. There it is. Ha! Well, there you go. Good enough for the women I date. That's how you replace her. This is what I was talking about with those cotter pins there. See how that is? Right there? Just blow the hole. Makes no sense. You wonder who designs this shit. Well, hopefully you guys like my video here. That's the finished product here. That's the chick magnet.